Well, good evening and thanks for joining us here on News 20 on GTN. We've got a great show for you tonight. Joining me to my right, not very often do I have someone sitting with a sash and a crown on next to me, but joining me is Dr. Veronica Hilliard, 2012 Miss Senior America, or Miss Senior Missouri.
Miss Senior Missouri.
We'll start. How was the America pageant?
It was very interesting, and I met so many very talented women over 60. And it gave me a lot of hope because there were so many of them and highly engaging, lovely to look at, lovely people to interact with who have done a tremendous amount of service in their communities, and they are extremely talented to boot.
Now that was the Miss Senior America, and that's where you go after you win Miss Senior Missouri.
That is
Was
correct.
there a big difference between the two pageants in terms of you being nervous?
No, it was not for me, because my story about entering the pageant was that I wasn't really interested in the pageant so much as to do some service in the St. Louis community through my talent. I have done, and I still do, a lot of service using my education and my background, my career background, but I wanted to use the right side of my brain this time. So when I learned of the Miss Senior Missouri pageant and the Cameo Club, I followed through to find out more about it, and they told me in order to get into the Cameo Club that you had to be in a pageant, and I said, I don't think so, because I don't do pageants. Well, that was the only portal, and so I entered the Miss Senior Missouri, and I thought, well, I'll get over that hump, and then I'll be able to do my service and entertain in nursing homes and hospitals and senior centers. But I didn't really bargain for winning. It was a shock.
Well, I can tell you, I've been a judge with the pageant for 8, 9, 10 years now. This year, I'm fortunate enough to be able to step up and MC. Don Wolf has done a fabulous job,
Yes.
and hopefully I can only do 1/10 as good a job as him, but this is a fantastic thing for me too. You talk about, and other queens have talked about being nervous about being part of it. I'm nervous as being, even though I've been doing this for 25 years, I'm nervous being the MC of this pageant this year.
Well,
Your advice to me?
Well, you know, I'm nervous anytime I have to entertain, prior to entertaining. But once I'm out there, I just relax in the fact that I'm going to give it my best shot. And that's what I would say. And I think you'll just do splendidly.
What would you say to other ladies out there as we start the interview here tonight? There's so many people who see this on television and go, I think I could do this, but I have to stand in front of a crowd, and I'm not very comfortable with that. What would you say about stepping outside of the box and conquering your fears?
I think that they should think about their whole life in totality. And I am sure with most women that they have had to face greater challenges than the whole audience at the James Egan Center. And if they think about it in context, they may come to the notion that, you know, I could do this too.
When you look back at the year, because it's almost been a year now, has it flown by just so quickly? And was it what you expected?
I don't know that I had any preconceived notions about it, but it has gone by quite quickly. And I have been reflecting on that in the last several weeks because I know that I will have to say a few words at the pageant that comes up in July, on the 14th of July. And I thought to myself, you know, we have to show everyone in our philosophy of life. And my philosophy of life had 3 main points that I wanted to talk to the judges about and to my audience about. And I summed them up in my love of learning and my love of constantly trying to achieve something greater than myself. And then, of course, my love of song and music. And when I used those 3 as the prisms through which I would view this entire year, I thought, oh, how ironic, because number one, it was a year of complete learning. I met people, I was in situations like at the state fair or in Jefferson City or any number of places that I would probably never have been to had it not been for Miss Senior Missouri. I've worked with very high performance, high achieving people, and I have learned a tremendous amount. It's been a continuous improvement process for me. And then the third thing, in my philosophy, I say that the gift of song is powerful, magically evoking feelings of delight, peace, and understanding. Oh, Randy, I have had that validated so many times. Let me tell you a story. When I was, after the pageant, the senior pageant in Atlantic City, I was coming out of the stage door, and I had finished in the top 10, which for a rookie I thought wasn't too bad. And I was coming out to meet my family, and there was a woman there, a woman that I thought, oh my gosh, she had to be in her late 80s. And she grabbed my arm and my hand very tightly, and she looked in my eyes with the eyes that looked like she looked right through me. And she said, "The Nazis loved their Puccini. Puccini kept me alive." And I just kind of got the chills, because I had sung O mio babbino caro, which is a Puccini aria. And she told me the story about how she had been a prisoner in a concentration camp during the time of the Second World War. And because of her ability to sing Puccini arias, she did not go to the gas chamber. So there's one story that I can share with you. Amazing stories that the whole year has been a gift for me, a blessing and a gift.
When you look at winning the crown and you talk about these individual stories, there's hundreds, there's maybe even thousands of them. Do you really reflect back on how much of a difference you make in the community with that crown and that sash and that title? Everywhere from someone who's in their 80s or 90s like that, down to the little kids, when you talk to them and they see that, and that's what they aspire to be and do when they get older.
I have, and I think you know that you are who you are, but you do take on another persona, and I think a responsibility to be a role model. Not that I didn't always strive to be that, but now, because of your commitment to Miss Senior Missouri for this year, and I hope for many years to come, you start thinking about how can I put myself out there for that person. Go to nursing homes and senior centers, and I really try to interact with every single person that is there. And once you do, you realize that not that you gave so much of yourself, but in the giving, they gave so much back to you. It's amazing.
Now, as the queenship ends, you become part of the Cameo Club. Explain what the Cameo Club is and what they do.
Okay, the Cameo Club is really a service organization of women who are over 60 years old. Very accomplished women who use their talents, their time, and their treasure for the service to the greater St. Louis community. What we do is we send a representative every year to Atlantic City, to the senior pageant, the National Cameo Club. But here locally, what we're all about is entertaining, raising money for charities every year that the whole Cameo Club gives. But every month, we also have a charity that we support. For example, last month we had our little baby shower at our meeting, and all of those clothes go to children of poverty who wouldn't have those kinds of things, infants. And there are any number of charities like that. We do it on a monthly basis and a yearly basis.
What would you say, because I think this is a key aspect of the pageant and growing older and being the age of elegance, as it's called. What would you say to others, because there's two roads I see. Some, like yourself, who take on the world, who go out and feel, this is my time to make a difference, I'm going to live life. And then you've got the other half, per se, who just lays back and just kind of dissolves into society, feels they have nothing to give, feels sorry for themselves, they don't get out there, they don't do anything. What would you say to those people about living it? This is your time now.
Indeed, I agree with you. I know that, you know, there are all kinds of personalities, and that's why I think it's important, Randy, that you and I are having this conversation. We need to get the word out there that all women have talents, all women over 60 have talents, and we grow together. I may have sung an aria last July, but my talents, I think, have grown because of my interaction with these very powerful, lovely, talented women that I have met and have become a very important part of my life since my entrance in the Cameo Club. And I would just emphasize that women over 60 have so much to give, and to get into conversations with others who can say to you, yes, you do have a talent. Don't overlook this. And yes, it is useful. And you can contribute to the community in very significant ways.
So as you look back over this year and you talk about some of the things you just talked about being that mentor, showing people that they can get out there and really make a difference, is it going to be a sad experience to take the crown off and give it to somebody else?
I have been asked that question quite a bit within the last month. And so I've thought about it, and I think it's going to be natural, I think very natural to feel some kind of a loss because it's a change. But at the same time, and more than that, I am so blessed and I am so happy to have had this opportunity. And it isn't about this crown, it's about the power of this organization to do good. And so I'm hopefully going to be part of this organization for a long time, and I'll be able to do some good.
Now, Veronica, I always joke with the queens when they come on the show here. Were you treated like a queen at home once you won the title? Did things change for you?
No, not at all.
Sometimes I get the laugh and yes, sometimes I get laugh and no.
No, not at all. But you know, it's very interesting though, in reflecting upon this. I've had some prominence in the community through my work and have had some strong messages for students and education, especially children with disabilities and gifted and talented children. And I did that for many years, both as a teacher and administrator. And it's very interesting now, though, wearing the crown right now as Miss Senior Missouri, that people who may not have listened to me before they're sitting up and taking notice. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm still Veronica, I'm still Dr. Hilliard, but now I'm Miss Senior Missouri. And so it's been a real asset. It's been an asset to be Miss Senior Missouri for my cause of focusing on children with disabilities and gifted and talented children.
When you look on that message that you pass on, and you talked about sometimes people look at you a little different when you have that queen, differently in the way that your presentation, it's the same thing. What would you say to people out there, even people in their 20s and 30s, because we live in a society now that it's all about me. It's instant gratification. People don't talk to each other anymore. They're not friendly anymore. What would you say about that? About just life is about people, about enjoying those experiences.
It is indeed, and what this year has afforded me is an enormous amount of opportunities to interact with people, all different kinds of people, and it is a joyful experience. In the giving, you receive so very much, and life does not end when you're 30 or when you turn 40, which I probably thought at one time too. But here I am over 60, and it has been an exhilarating opportunity for me and an exhilarating year. So I would say, you know, life is truly, it's about the journey, you know, and I would not have ever predicted that I would be Miss Senior Missouri at this time of my life.
The pageant is just a little over a month away here, and I know everybody's excited about it. There are so many people who put in so much hard work to make this thing seem seamless on the event day.
That's right.
Talk about the whole build up to the event and some of the things that go on.
I'm glad you asked that question because I don't know that I could really pay enough tribute to all of the women and others who helped make that possible. But we have been preparing for this event, I really suppose, since the last event. And the co-directors, Denise Laffery and Christine LeBlain DeHart, have really shouldered a big portion of that work. But they couldn't get it all done without the help of so many members of the Cameo Club and the community to make that happen. I mean, the James Egan Center is a wonderful, wonderful venue. The acoustics are great. And it takes skilled people, technicians, to make that happen. And they're fantastic, for example. And I look around at the stage directors. We have two fine ladies who are the stage directors, Marcine Tachman and Pat Bruder. They're fantastic. And I told them when I came home from New Jersey, from the national pageant, you are better than what they do in New Jersey. They could learn from the two of you. You
know what is really fascinating about the organization is that as long as I've been involved with it for all these years, it's a majority of the same people over and over and over. And that shows that commitment of how much it means to them personally.
Indeed, and they are committed to something larger, and that is to help women over 60 realize the beauty of life over 60, the fulfillment that one can have in giving to others through their talents, through their service. And so this is part of what we do. And it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of fun involved in this.
Now, throughout the show here, we have been putting up at the bottom of the screen the website where you can go to find out more information. We've also been putting up the information about the event itself. You talk about a year-long preparation for this. Some of the new people who are coming in who are contestants, do you see them change as it goes month by month and it's getting closer? Do they become more comfortable or do they become more nervous?
No, I think overall they become more comfortable. I do think there's a lot of nervousness when it gets to the day of the pageant and the interviews with the judges and actually going on stage in front of that audience to perform. But they grow in confidence. They are supported. They are supported by the other members of the Cameo Club. They have a mentor assigned by the Cameo Club that's a very powerful thing for any candidate to have. I know that my mentor meant a great deal to me, and she gave me quite a lot of good advice and direction. So they're very supported.
What was the most nervous or nerve-wracking part of the event for you?
That's a very good question. I think the most nerve-wracking part of the event was delivering my philosophy of life, and not to the judges, but to that vast crowd in the auditorium.
Now, I can't remember. Did you speak it last year, or was it on tape? I know it's.
Oh, it was on tape. It was on tape, and
now before they had to come out and verbally say it. Now that would have been hard. I'm not good at memorizing things.
Yes.
So that would have been tough for me.
At the national pageant, as you did your gown walk and you walked up to the microphone, you delivered it to the group.
That's a whole nother aspect of nervousness.
That was I found that difficult. Not so much for the public speaking, but that I thought, well, I'm sharing really who I am and to this great crowd, and they're going to judge me on this.
Well, I find that through the years, most people say, I am most nervous about coming in and sitting per se one-on-one, but it's really 1 on 6 or 7 as judges. That seems to be the most nerve-wracking part for a lot of people.
But not for
me.
That
seems to be the simplest part.
Yes, but not for me. I thought, well, in my career, I have done that so many times. Been in what we call interviews by committee. And so that was that kind of format. I had a little comfort with that. I didn't know who these judges were, so the unknown that I have to say that was, gave me pause. But once I saw your faces and smiled and I saw your names and everything, I just thought it was okay.
Now, for the people just joining us, talk about your talent, what you did, and for people who are looking at being part of the pageant, you do have to come with some kind of talent, whether it's reading a poem, you can show artwork, you can do anything you really want. But as I sat as a judge for the past 10 years and have seen the variety, the gamut of entertainment, it's phenomenal. It's almost like Broadway type productions.
It is indeed. And I think you'll find this year there's going to be a very diverse and very wide variety of talents. Women can, actually the whole point of it is to, again, reveal to the judges and the audience more about that person, whatever that talent they choose, whether it's a musical talent, instrument or voice, or comedy, clowning, baton twirling. There's any number of talents, and I think you'll be surprised at some of the interesting talents that we have this year.
I know Don, through the years, sometimes when there is a lull, one gentleman as a host, he would sing, Don would tell some jokes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do if there's a lull. All I know is the stage directors better be on top of things this year, because if there's a lull, we're in trouble. I'm going to bring you out, and maybe we'll sing a duet or something.
We could do that. We could do that.
And I'll act like my microphone's broken the entire set.
Just give me a microphone.
As far as yourself, do you wear your crown and sash everywhere you go? Because if I was the queen, I'd cut my grass in it. I'd go to the grocery store in it.
No, I do not. I wear it to all official functions, whether we're doing a cameo show, a queen show, a queen performance, solo performance, or if I'm just talking with a group, I'll wear that. But normally, no, I do not.
What's the family think about your queenship role?
Oh, they think it's terrific. I'm part of a very supportive family. My husband has been really very good with all of this because of the time commitment of being the queen. My son living in New York and my grandson, they're very proud. They're always posting pictures of me on Facebook. There's Noni in the St. Patrick's Day parade. And then I come from, part of my family is Italian. And when I went to Atlantic City, of course, I am from the East Coast. And so I had a very, very large group of people there cheering me on. So they think it's grand.
Does it help sometimes when maybe you are having a discussion with your husband and you say, look, I'm the queen here. I get my way, well, at least for the year.
No, I've not taken that particular stance. For his birthday this year, however, I did get him a crown. And we had our pictures taken, the king and the queen.
Very nice. You talk about that supportive role. Anybody who's involved in this pageant, whether in front of the scenes, like as a contestant, or behind the scenes, a lot of time is given on your behalf. What would you say about that supporting role of the family, of the husband, of the wife, or whoever being part of the pageantry itself? Does it help to be that support system for it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, it certainly makes it so much easier to do what you need to do to the best of your ability during the course of this year. And I've been very blessed in that regard because my husband has been so good. And so my family, just, you go, girl.
Now, being involved with several charities in the St. Louis area, this is one of those things that I enjoy so much being part of Miss Senior Missouri pageant, is that there's so much passion. And you see that a lot amongst nonprofits for causes. When you are part of this, and that's what's kept me attracted to this for so long, I can see it on your face. I saw it when you walked in the room. I see it from everybody who's behind the scenes. Do you see that also, that passion just consumes everybody?
It certainly does, and that's just not a one-time event, in July. That's throughout the year. I've said energetic, but passionate is probably a better term. Women in that organization, and you say to yourself, women over 60, now some of them are closer to 90, and you would never know that because what drives them from within that beauty, that passion. They are exceedingly active and giving and having an awful lot of fun and doing good.
Well, that was going to be my next question. And a lot of people, just like with the running competition, they feel that it is a race or a competition where it can just be a relaxed run for exercise. What about this? People, I think I've heard in the past, feel, well, this might be a cutthroat type thing. Everybody's going to be in there, you know, and it's a, you know, a hair pulling contest. It's just going to be crazy. But what I've seen is everybody is truly trying to help everybody else. It is a competition, but it's a nice, relaxed, friendly, fun competition.
I agree with you 100%. It's focused on something bigger than the competition. It's focused, you know, this is the portal to the Cameo Club, and we want everyone to discover something wonderful about themselves. And so that's why the whole club supports each and every candidate, because it's a time to learn about yourself, refine those kinds of skills or abilities or talents, and then ultimately you're going to give that away.
Veronica, as we start to wrap things up, about 1 minute here left on the show, what would you say to everybody out there about being part of the event, coming out and seeing the event in July, and maybe throwing your name in the hat for the year following? It's a great experience.
It is totally a great experience, and I would welcome everyone to the James Egan Civic Center on July the 14th. You will be amazed, highly entertained, and so happy that you chose to be there that afternoon. So I would invite all of your viewers to please come on July 14th to the Miss Senior Missouri Pageant 2013.
Sounds good. It's been a pleasure having you on for the half hour. We could sit here and talk for 2 hours, but I look forward to working with you in a couple of weeks here as we start getting ready for the pageant. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Randy.
Dr. Veronica Hilliard, 2012 Miss Senior Missouri. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and make sure and join us over at the James J. Egan Center on July 14th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night right here on News 20 on GTN. Have a great evening.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Be out there. Be out there.
Be out there. Be out there.
Time was, kids did what came naturally. Spending free time running barefoot through the grass, wading knee-deep in streams, climbing to the tallest branch. But today, American kids are more likely found texting, watching TV, or gazing at a computer screen. They spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. Something essential has been lost. Childhood's connection to the natural world. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Kids move indoors causes a host of problems, from obesity to ADHD. But outdoor play can go a long way to improving kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity and attention spans, and could even make them better students. Do your part. Be a part of Be Out There. There's a reason why they call it the great outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.